St. Peter's is a joyful church.
Warm, welcoming place.
Where people walk in on Sunday morning and they feel good and they walk out having had an experience that's brought them closer to God.
St. Peter's began in Midtown, St. Louis in the 19th century and then moved west in the mid-20th century.
This is the third home of St. Peter's. We've been in this building for almost 75 years, the corner of Warson and Ladue.
This is a special place, and it means so much to the people who belong.
150 years is something that just speaks to the ability of St. Peter's.
It's a wonderful story, and to see how well St. Peter's has spread the good news and shared it with this community and with this city is a story that needs to be told.
What's really special about St. Peter's is that we are a 3- and 4-generation church, which means we have some wonderful traditions.
I've been at St. Peter's since I was a child. Went to Sunday school. It's been my church home all my life. I wanted my children to have the same experience that I'd had.
It's very much the same. When you walk in, you have the same wonderful feelings. You still have that wonderful connection with all the different ages, from the very youngest to the very oldest.
They have embraced us and welcomed us with open arms in every way, and it felt like family immediately.
Just a place I always could come home to.
There's a really rich tradition of music making here.
We have people who have degrees in music, who teach music, who sing, and some of them sing just because they want to join the choir.
That was really the great fun about being here, was working with all of them. They were incredibly dedicated and very gifted. We ended up taking the choir to England on 3 different trips, made several recordings.
This was the first time I could sit back and feel those vibrations just go right through me. And it was so healing.
We have this incredible organ that was a gift to this church.
The bright lights and the great music make this just a welcoming, comforting place to be with your family.
There's something about being in person at a church service just makes for such a spiritual experience.
We've always tried to hold that middle ground of the tradition of the sacraments and the importance of the apostolic succession with the same evangelical fervor and passion toward the gospel.
He has a remarkable capacity to reach out to all generations, to still feel relevant when you're 77 years old. It's fun.
It's nice to always feel that connection back to St. Peter's and that tug to remind you of the things that are truly important.
We've seen wonderful growth here at St. Peter's in the last 5 to 10 years. Our youth are growing, our confirmation classes are growing, our Vacation Bible School is full to the brim every single summer.
My kids love the Vacation Bible School. Favorite camp all summer, wanted to go back.
The play group, it's warm and inviting and nurturing. The teachers are wonderful.
We just have a really wonderful curriculum for the children.
They get to go to Sunday school for part of the time, and then they get to come into the worship portion for the second half. It's just a great introduction for the children.
Right now, we're fortunate to be in a time of resurrection, in a time of new growth and revitalization.
There's definitely been a new energy that's come into the parish.
We like to say that the last 5 or 6 years have been very transformational.
To me, the best thing that's happened at St. Peter's in the last few years is just this sense of strengthened community.
I like to be involved here. It's a good place, and if they ask for help, I'm happy to help. It's very exciting, the missions that are done.
There have been many people involved in Grace Hill, involved in the Mariners Ministry.
Magdalene House, Haven of Grace.
Well, the Episcopal City Mission.
Once a month we make about 250 sandwiches for the Sunshine Ministry.
There's different stages where you can be more and more involved, but there is such a fundamental sense of community.
We're all working in the communities almost all the time, trying to make St. Louis a better place.
While it's 150 years, it's what comes next that is the most exciting.
My hope for St. Peter's 150 years from now is the same hope as it is for next year, that we are bringing people into closer relationship with God through Christ.
To think about what the world will be, what this parish will be, what we're called to do, to be able to come together and celebrate this. It is a very important time in our history. I firmly believe that St. Peter's will make an impact over the next 150 years on individual lives and the lives of the people in this community.